One time in high school, I had a sudden and quite unexpected change of schedule during my 4th period study hall, which I ruled at, and all of a sudden I found myself twirling my salad fingers like a noob in small engines class. I still don't get it. Yeah, we got to rip apart lawnmowers and wrench on stuff and get grease all over our sweatshirts and blah blah blah. Having never been the small engine type, I was surprisingly okay at it. It was way more fun than Refresher Algebra 3, that's for sure, which I got a D- in. It's funny and occasionally horrifying how things that really only happened a few years ago sometimes seem so far away. I remember hanging on the end of a live spark plug like an imbecile while my partner yanked on the pull string so we could test it to make sure we got the engine put back together correctly and it still had juice. It did indeed have juice, and unfortunately my hair never really grew in the same lush direction after that fateful class period. I could ramble on forever about my sweet small engines class at Owatonna High, but basically the whole point of me telling you this load of rubbish is so that if/when you have an extremely unfortunate event involving a lawnmower, you'll know exactly who to talk to. In such a case, all roads and bike trails lead to myself, not Rome. A small engines alumni if ever there was one. On that note, I would like to announce that I spend a lot of time in the kitchen. Doing exactly what? I'm not exactly sure, but that's not really the point. The point involves raiding the cupboards and cabinets, stealing my own food from my own fridge, raising Cain, the brother of Abel, and causing a ridiculous amount of mischief. I tend to wear my socks a lot in the kitchen as well, as in, I'm usually that guy who violently kicks off his shoes at the front door because there's something about fake wooden linoleum that appears inviting to the feverish socked footsies. For the bookish type, living alone is absolutely heaven, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Probably not even for a wife. At least not until I have the pleasure of meeting and getting to know the lovely girlie. 'Cause yeah. Anyway, living alone is wonderful, but I will say this about it. Whenever I'm up during the wee hours of the night, the only thing that terrifies me about living alone is lying awake in the deafening quiet of my bedroom and hearing the eerie scraping of someone slowly descending the basement stairs only to peek out from my covers and see the girl from the ring standing at the doorway with her hair in front of her face. Oh man, moving on! Aside from the top secret subterranean cave basement where music and I are always doing that thing we do, this is where I spend a lot of my time. Yay. Aside from all this junk, the past week and I have produced much proverbial fruit together. I went to Office Max yesterday because I needed a flash drive, and also because I rule, but mostly because I just needed a flash drive. I was trouncing around the parking lot like a space worm when I looked up from whatever it was I was occupied with and beheld this. Ooh. You must understand that if someone drew a line in the sand with a sword, I'd be the first to strut over it and stand on the nerd side rather than, say, the bro side. What I mean is, I don't really wear skull caps and 30 pounds of black leather, nor do I often catch myself daydreaming about massive muddy 4x4s, or fistfights, or rifles, or 12-point bucks, or Sturgis, or overly choleric biker chicks. Names have been hurled in my direction such as unfashionable, or socially inept, and of course the given hurler might have had a darn good point. But regardless, when I saw this motorcycle in the parking lot, I had to at least take a photo and wonder what life would be like without Captain Hook. If you've ever seen the film starring Robin Williams, you might have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. It's from 1991, probably not healthy enough to torrent, but I'd bet the hair on my legs that there's a lonely VHS somewhere on the shelf at your public library. I'm also willing to bet that your grandma has a VCR. Mine sure does. Cool. My good pal Matt Thiessen from Reliant K is coming to visit me this week. We're gonna work on tunes and eat Applebee's like it's our jobs and/or like it's going out of business. Thankfully it's not. I can't wait. The new tunes are sounding lovely and I'm beyond excited for you to hear them. Without being too revealing, like the great mouse detective that I am, the new record is going to be mighty tasty, bigger synths, dreamier pads, meatier kick drums, lots of hand-programmed glitchy IDM sequences, loads of analog synth, live guitars, live drums, catchy hooks like it's musky season, maybe even a well-placed brass stab somewhere in homage to the genius that is MC Hammer. Got my grubby hands on a bunch of new plugins the other day and they're blowing my mind. Moog filters, Trident EQs, a bunch of classic Neve stuff, vintage channel strips, SSL compressors/limiters out the wazoo, even a Roland RE20 Space Echo plugin. I'll have the Signal Flow salad sandwich. Gonna be awesome. This entry has become lengthy. I must go now.